feminine freshness art. So I was thinking about how we, man, are the human, the human is like a gyroscope, right? We are, like in so many ways, right? Because like not only does a gyroscope center itself left, right, you know what I mean? It also centers itself like up, down, right? In a 360 way. And how would then we be similar? Well, on some sense, we can either be acting good or bad, right? Which is morally either towards or away from our goals. And, in a lot of ways, our responsibilities in many different areas of life, right? And then we can also be acting sort of powerfully or impowerfully, right? Delusionally or really productively, right? Which is more so the brains, right? Which is where you can have someone with a lot of brains, right? And is doing stuff really productively, right? But they don't really got the heart in it. And then you start to realizing they're not even doing stuff that really maybe they really care about, or they don't have strong attachments, right? Or maybe not a strong sense of self, right? And there's a very much just elation of principality going on, or elation of universal mirroring laws, right? But either way, so we start to see like this sort of gyroscope, though. We start to know, though, how powerful we are, sort of based on the currents coming at us through our occupation and our business, as well as our home, right? And we start to sort of feel that, I feel like, as literally like a boner, or like getting hot, right? Like for real, like the more boosted or the more gassed up, it's like, yeah, it's literally that, right? And then that's sort of like the more productive, and it's like the more perky you be, like for real. Whereas then we have, like I said, the more right or the more wrong, which is like a sort of color, and it's almost like the soulful, because it's like the perky is almost, I feel like this brightness, right? Where, how much you're actually enacting a role, right? And you're bright and you're a part of, and that's gassing you up. Whereas, the right or the wrong is actually going to add a soulful nature, quality to your eyes and the way you move, right? And versus the other way, if you're just doing stuff they don't really care about, right? In order to gas yourself up and selling yourself, it's going to add a soulless nature to the way you move and like your eyes, right? I just picture soulless gaze at a 9 to 5, right? So, like, that's just how we embody a human gyroscope, right? I just think it's interesting, and that goes down to just the principles that I was thinking about earlier on how something can be true, but it does not necessarily mean that it's right, because true just means working and not delusional, right? It means that when you're a part of true things, it can be frequented and be attuned, right? That resonates, right? But some of those things are sort of delusional, even though, even the feminine energy will end up whipping back at you over time, right? Because this is sort of like getting over on people's heads for a short period of time, but then, that's always going to come back to bite you, even relationally, regardless of the soulless element. But that's sort of how, that's sort of a different thing, because that's sort of, if you're going against the feminine energy, that's more not being able to be gassed up, because that's more short term, maybe getting a little bit of gas, but then realizing that doesn't work with the feminine energy, and then you're going to be not perky over so long, because you ain't going to get the gas like that. It's not going to hit. You're going to have to go through so many trials and tribulations before you got what you got last time. That's going to be like, oh, fuck. Whereas when you start going through like I said, the good or wrong. It's more so like it is what can hit if it is true, right? It's like, no, this is just a job that just makes money. This is something that's a part of the natural current that gardens or takes sort of fertilizer from the natural currents, winds, soils, and just shit, right? Just the excess, and then actually accumulates it in a certain way, churns it, works with it, sort of artistically co-creates to create product, right? That's like value. That's like, whoa. But it's like, man, I hate doing this, right? So it's like, it doesn't matter how much necessarily money I get, it's not really aligned with my soul, right? And that's sort of where the good or bad comes in. So it's like the worst evil comes in when you're sort of doing something delusional to where it doesn't even work, and it can't be even, it sort of is sending you out askew, right, into the darkness, while you're also fucking going against what you want to do, right? That's sort of the worst of both worlds, where the sort of best of both worlds would be doing something productive that can actually be assimilated into the greater environment, like I said, and be gold, not only shining bright to you, right, but of more broad and transcendent currency, right? Then it's like, that's sort of the best of both worlds, right? Where then, like I said, you sort of have the air, the more cold cut, get it, right? Get in and get out, which would be, okay, this works, right? This is true, but I ain't necessarily fucking with it. And then you more so have the earth, where it's like, this is what I like, and it's like that stubborn energy, right? Where it's like, this is what I like, but it don't necessarily work, but fuck it, I like it, like, you know what I mean? So that's like the human gyroscope. Hey, bubbling.